All right, everybody, you know what time it is. The Real Talk Sports Show is coming up right now. Bam! Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host and minister, Jonathan Simmons. We thank God for all those of you who decided to join us here on another broadcast of the Real Talk Sports Show. As we broadcast to you just south of Atlanta, Georgia, down here on the south side. Appreciate all those of you obviously tuned in to join us today. Remember, you can follow us anywhere on social media at Real Talk Sports, the number 7. And that's everywhere you need to tune in. And especially for those of you who are on the YouTube, I want to thank those of you who are watching right now via the replay. That's right. You guys say, hey, you know what? We missed the live, but we want to tune in and check out what the crew, the minister, the queen, and the champion we're talking about today. And of course, the big news has been that the Falcons have had the entire NFL, some degree, the sports world buzzing after they made what many people feel is a controversial pick at number 8, bringing in Michael Penix, the young gunslinger out of Washington. And we're going to talk about that primarily in the second half of the broadcast. We'll be talking a lot about that. And so that's going to be our big question. I'll pop it up on the screen right now. I just titled this thing Falcons Fiasco, question mark. Is Arthur Blank becoming Jerry Jones? Hashtag NFL Draft. And we'll talk about that, like I said, primarily in the second half. But again, if you want to put your comments in on the screen, go right ahead. I can see you if you're popping on social media, Real Talk Sports. If you're following us there, also on YouTube, love to hear your comments about that. Like I said, we'll be primarily doing the last really half hour because here in Atlanta, it has been on and popping. That has been like the number one topic going on right now, and on Sports Talk Radio. I think Falcons fans are just now coming down off of the high wire. People were just about to lose their mind, and to be honest with you, I kind of was one of them. Anyway, we're gonna be talking about that. So you guys pop your comments on social media. We can see it. We'll let you guys speak your piece about what you think about the Falcons and their move, and also what you think about going on in the NBA playoffs. It seems we have a changing of the guard. Looks like the old guns are fading out, and we have a new crop of young and ready potential champions in the mix. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But guys, anytime we do this show, we like to bring on one of the most beautiful women on Sports Talk Radio or TV. We simply call her the Queen. Miss Tree Dolman is back in the building. Tree, welcome back.
Hi, Jonathan. Hi, everyone.
How are you doing there, Tree? Good to see you. Let me get our official background here. I was messing around with all these different backgrounds. Let's get the official one in here. Let's see. We get there. It is.
Hello, how are you doing?
Fantastic. Well, I want you guys to get a close up. Now, I always tell you that the Queen is always fabulous and beautiful, but I think you got a little something extra. Whoa, look at that.
Thank you.
Praise the Lord. Now, last week, you guys know, we had a little technical difficulties, and by the time I got in there, we could not get the Queen on. So we're very, very excited that she is here. But yes, she's looking extra shiny and beautiful. Praise the Lord.
Thank you.
Well, Tree, it's been, like I said, we'll talk about it more as we move towards the second half of the show. But I mean, it is. I know Mr. Blank has said that he wanted the Falcons to be, a team that was spoken about and a team that people are looking at. But I don't know if he had quite this in mind because the fur has been flying literally, or I should say the feather's been flying as people have been on both sides of this coin with the Falcons draft picks. So it's been incredible.
Yes, it has.
And overall the draft. Now I forgot about this. I know you were pleased as you could be as your city of Detroit hosted the NFL draft. What do you think about the way your city showed out?
Oh, my city definitely showed out. And not only did we host the NFL draft, we broke the record for the most fans who attended the NFL draft. We had over 275 the first day, over 275 the third day. We had over 775,000 people for the entire weekend. And we would have had much more than that, but every day they had to close the gates and they would not let anyone else in
Wow.
because it had reached the maximum capacity of what they had called for. So, had they not done that, you can't tell me we wouldn't have had over 900,000 people. So, I'm very happy that everybody had a great time. I'm very proud of my city. I've always told people Detroit will always show up and show out. I'm already calling it now. You guys can tell me and we can rewind this tape. Like I said, you think we showed out for the NFL draft? You wait until this year when my Detroit Lions and our Detroit Lions are playing in the Super Bowl in New Orleans. Oh, all you're going to see is Honolulu Blue because we are coming.
There's no doubt that the Lions, they are considered to be one of the top 10 teams in the NFL. Solid all the way across the board. Good quarterback play. And I think I lost my mic here. Hold on. Looks like
And
my
we
mic
did
has went
very well in
haywire.
the draft as well. So I'm very pleased with who we drafted. Just phenomenal job. Shout out to Detroit. Shout out to the community of Detroit. Shout out to everybody who's not from Detroit who flew in and just had a great time and a great experience at the NFL draft. I mean, just phenomenal. It was a sight to see. And I will continue. But I was like, yes, it was a sight to see, and I'm proud of my city. I'm very proud of my city. I'm always proud of my city, but I'm very proud. Now I can't hear you. I heard you perfectly fine on your last mic when you said you were losing it, and I was like, oh, I hear you just fine, but now I don't hear anything. You're talking, but nothing's coming out.
The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678 304 8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice.
Your lips are moving, but nothing is coming out. You can't go back to your old mic. The old mic was working just fine.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I hear you now.
Okay, so I had to go off of the mic and back to the computer mic. Not sure what caused that, but it is what it is. Yeah, so uh, like I said, been an exciting weekend with the draft, but we have to remember that the NBA playoffs have been going on this weekend, and I think we're seeing a changing of the guard and an establishment of potentially a new dynasty in the Denver Nuggets, who got rid of the Lakers. They didn't sweep them this year, but 4 games to one. What do you think about was really, believe it or not, seemed to be a really good series. It had it not been for the buzzer beater in Game 2 in Denver and the late score last night. I mean, we might have a different series.
We might, but we know there with the playoffs, there's always buzzer beaters, exciting basketball, lead changes. It's just really great time of the year, which I think that all of the changes that the NBA have made and are making is really helping to make the game more exciting throughout the year. At one point, I would only watch NBA basketball during playoffs because that's when everybody play hard. So I like the in-season tournament and the play-in tournament and all these other things. And I love that you want home court advantage. So you really care about your seeding throughout the year. But playoff basketball has been wonderful. And yes, I have been watching. But yes, the Warriors are out. The Lakers are out. Definitely some new teams that are hungry and ready to prove their point that they're ready to be champions.
So what do you think about the Denver Nuggets? I mean, do you think this could be a potential? I don't want to use the word dynasty too quickly, but do you think they have the makings to be a power team that could, in fact, run off multiple NBA titles?
I mean, any team that's left can, in my opinion, can do that. We have a lot of great teams out there playing. So I'm never going to be the one to say you can't. No, I don't think that they can win back to back or not back to back, but multiple titles. Every team has the capacity to do that. They're professional athletes. They're all playing very well. Denver's a really great team, very exciting to watch. I mean, wow, it's just great basketball. So yes, I do think they can win multiple titles, and I do think they have a shot. But I think that about a lot of the teams that are left. So who knows? I mean, it's just who comes ready to play.
Who's your pick right now based on what we've seen of teams left? Who do you think might? Who's your favorite or your
I
top
don't
two
have a
favorites?
favorite. My Detroit Pistons are not playing, so I no longer have a favorite. The Warriors are not playing, so but I think I like watching Boston. I'm really loving watching the Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, they're playing great basketball. I like watching all the teams that are playing, honestly. They're I don't have a favorite though. I do not have
Okay.
a favorite as of yet. Which I
Yeah.
thought I will. Like I said, my teams are out, so I'm
Well,
just
that person, Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves are making some noise. Anthony Edwards has elevated his game to another level. That guy, he just looks right now that he's borderline unstoppable. And I know a lot of players, old heads, talk about, oh well, this guy dunked on players, blah blah blah. Hey, Anthony Edwards letting you know, hey, I'm doing it the way the guys always did it. He's dunking over people, around people, on top of people, no mercy,
yeah. And talking
no
junk
mercy.
doing it.
Yep, he's dropping a hammer. So definitely, without a doubt, of all the teams that are left, probably one of the most dangerous teams in there is in fact the Timberwolves. But if we look back over where from the East, I mean, how about the New York Knickerbockers? It seems like they're like ever since the Hawks beat them down, they're like, hey man, we're gonna find some way to get back in here and do our thing. And right now, Knicks, people forget that Knicks actually were the number 2 seed in the East this year.
Yeah. Well, don't forget about Boston now. Boston, they're still a powerhouse.
No doubt. Yeah, so they are leading the Heat right now, 3 games to 1, and they're trying to get them finished off so they can get a little rest, so that they might be ready to play the winner of. Let's see, they'll be playing the winner, I guess, of the Knicks and Sixers, maybe. No, let me just double check this. Okay, so I can't tell who Boston is playing. Normally, what they do is 1 and 8. So I guess they would play the winner of 4 and 5. My bad. So whoever wins the Cavaliers in the Magic series, which right now is not up at 2, they would take on the Celtics. If in fact the Celtics win, which I think they will against the Miami Heat, and then what would probably be an outstanding series is the Knicks against the Pacers. Because it looks like the Bucks are in trouble. Bucks down 3 games to 1.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Can we take a pause break? I just have to talk about Village Burger. I know I wasn't on last week because of the technical difficulties, but oh my goodness, everybody needs to go to Village Burger. The food food is absolutely amazing. Like, seriously, I'm not just saying this. I was not paid to say this. The food is amazing. The customer service is fantastic. But again, the food is amazing. The menu is amazing. So I don't know if you're watching or listening, Sullivan, but thank you for having us out. I really enjoyed myself. I was actually driving past, but I was in a rush to get, but I can't tell you how bad I wanted to stop and go get some. I had the best grilled chicken sandwich. Oh my goodness. I'm still dreaming about it. Like, I have to go and get another one very soon, but please go to Village Burger. You will be very happy. The food is great. Pricing is great. I mean, just the menu is great. Just a wonderful time you will have. And Jonathan and I went and ate really good. I know he probably spoke about it last week, but I wasn't on. So I want to make sure that I thank Sully, and just want him to know that I really appreciate his invitation, his hospitality, and definitely the food. I love to eat. I'm a foodie. I know people look at me, I don't think it, but I love to eat. And that food is great. So make sure you go out and support Village Burger. Go get you something to eat. You will be happy and you will thank me.
And as we go to another quick break, I'm going to replay a little video that we shot when we were at Village Burger up in Johns Creek. And then we'll come back to more. We'll talk sports show in just a moment. Here we go.
Okay, guys, as you can see, Sully told the truth as advertised. This is the turkey burger and fries. And the queen has, what do you have?
Chicken. I have a wonderful chicken sandwich with cheese, lemonade, no ice, and fries.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
Coming up next, it's the Real Talk Sports Show, bringing you great sports talk with perspective. Now, here's our host, Jonathan Simmons.
I'm back here, guys. Thank you again for watching us here and listening to us on the Real Talk Sports Show. Because for those of you who may not be aware, we are now officially, and we actually have been for a little bit, on the YouTube podcast. So actually you can now hear the show as well. So if you have YouTube in your car, as you know, you can't watch it, but you can in fact listen to it. So check us out on the YouTube podcast station. We are on and popping on YouTube as well. So we appreciate all of you joining us to check us out there. Again, this is me, the host, Mr. Jonathan Simmons, and right next to me, the lovely and always beautiful Queen Tree Dolman in the building. And we're, like everybody else, caught up with NBA basketball. And hey, speaking of draft, we just came out of the WNBA draft. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago, but I cannot believe, Tree, I'm already getting my correspondence from Atlanta Dream that practice for the WNBA will be starting very soon.
I think it's already started, but yes, they're already underway. And one of the shocking events for me with the WNBA is that pretty much every team where Caitlin Clark is coming into town, they've moved the venue to a much larger venue for accommodating her many fans. And the Atlanta Dream, they're, I think, the only team, one of the few teams that did not move the venue. And it's unfortunate just looking at comments and the different things that people were saying, just because they are missing out. Where I did see someone said the Atlanta Dream, they're really missing out on a lot of ticket sales, which I agree. Why would you not switch to a larger venue? There's plenty of them. Gas South, even if you can't get State Farm Arena. But for that game, it's just unfortunate. And also the thing that's really unfortunate is how her jersey sold out like that, and they're saying that they will not be able to get new jerseys in until August. The season will be over when they get new jerseys. So that's also a missed opportunity to bring in dollars and support for the WNBA and for Caitlin Clark. So people need to realize when they're seeing the demand of a player, and I just think that it just needs to do better.
Yeah, it's kind of odd that the Dream executive team could not find a way to get a larger venue, because you mentioned there's multiple venues here around Atlanta that they could have played. You mentioned they could have went up north, they got south. They could have, I don't know, maybe they approached the Hawks and there were some cost involved. I'm not sure. They could even went back and approached Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
And, because that's where they played, the McCammon Pavilion.
Georgia
Yeah,
State.
Georgia State. I mean, yeah, but even Georgia State, at least I think, has seats 6,000 or 7,000. It's not 3. So, yeah, I'm not sure what their thinking was. Who knows? There obviously anything's possible. They might find a way to change that with the outcry that you're telling me that we're getting on social media and other venues. But yeah, that's it. And now I'm kind of baffled. You said that they sold out the Caitlin Clark jersey and they can't do anything until August.
I'm baffled too. That's what they said. Now, who knows if because the outpour and the responses that they're getting from people who want to purchase it, maybe, hopefully, they can find someone else or another vendor that can get the jerseys ready. But the jerseys that they have, they said they will not be ready until August, which I personally just think that's unacceptable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who they're talking to, but I would think that any major sports uniform provider should be able to turn those around in less than, we talk about almost 4 months. That just seems insane to me. But anyway, yeah, not sure what the story is. Well, before we get into some football, we'll talk a little bit of baseball, because we do have one of the hottest teams in Major League Baseball again. The Braves blazing a trail out in front of everybody. 19 wins, only 8 losses, and 11-4 at home, and they blistering 8-4 also on the road. Braves have won 7 of their last 10 games, and they look like a team on a mission to win a World Series title. You really like the Braves, how they go about their business. I mean, this is a team that just seems to get it right year after year. Alex Anthopoulos is probably, if not one of the best, probably the best GMs in all of sports. The way he's been able to configure this team and get his young stars under contract for long term, and to create an environment where it clearly looks like people want to play for this Braves organization. I'm not going to say regardless of money, but certainly money is not the overarching reason why they're playing.
The reason why they're playing well.
No, I'm saying it's not the overarching reason that they're playing. I mean, some people, and I get it, you're a professional, it's all about the money. But to the credit of the Braves, what they got set up, it seems like guys just are happy and want to play in Atlanta, play for coach, manager Snick, and this organization.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it seems that they are doing things the right way, but we all know, yes, the professional athletes get paid a nice amount of money, but hopefully they all still are playing the game and playing the sports because they love the sports. If you fall out of love for the game that you're playing, I hope you retire, because you're not really going to do that well on the court, on the field, or wherever you're playing. But I do agree that from what I hear from Braves is that it's a great organization, great team, and just the atmosphere. The fans here show up and show out. And not just that, they have that winning mindset. Everybody who's playing sports, whether you're getting paid or not, everybody wants to be on the winning team. Nobody wants to be on the losing team. And we know that we have that pedigree here, and they're looking for another World Series. I really do think that with the roster, depending on injuries, that they do have another shot at winning another World Series. So we'll see how it goes. I love how they're starting. It's a very long season. I never get excited or get too overworked in the beginning of a season, whether they're playing well or whether they're not playing well, because again, the season is very long, but it is nice for them to come out blazing the way that they are.
As a matter of fact, they right now at 19 wins, they are just one win away from doing something the franchise has not done before, which is to win 20 games by the start of May. Franchise has never done that. All those great Braves teams in the 90s, even the team that won the World Series in 2021, no Braves team has entered into the month of May with 20 wins on the docket. So yeah, you got to give them kudos because this is a team that got knocked out of the box unceremoniously by their arch rivals, the Phillies, last year. And like I said again, I give them credit for just saying, "Hey man, I don't care." It's the, as they said, World Series or bust. So kudos to them for starting out hot. But I just hope they end the season hot.
That's funny.
Well, that's what they said. I mean, they're like, "Hey man, World Series." I mean, and it makes sense because this is a team that won 108 games last year and didn't even get to the NLCS. They didn't get to Championship Series. So yeah, they got something to do this year, and it looks like it is on their minds, and that they want to make it happen for themselves and the fan base here in Atlanta because we need a winner. We, we need somebody that can win a championship because certainly the Hawks have fallen off the table. I mean, I don't even know what to figure out what to do to get this team back. Now, I understand they had a lot of injuries, but I'm just wondering as we go into the middle of the off season, what are the Hawks going to be able to do to get themselves turned around? Tree, I don't even know what. I mean, you have any thoughts on what they can do? Who could they bring in? Because I'm
They're
baffled.
gonna have to make a lot of changes. I think it's time for change. They've tried, they've tried, they've tried. They've made a couple of changes here and there. I think at this point it's time for a couple of major changes. So we'll see what they decide to do. But we have a very talented roster, but for some reason the team is not just really connecting in a way that it should. And so they need to bring in more talent and different talent. And I think maybe we can see a difference there. But this unit just isn't working as it should, even though they're very, very talented. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they want to do. Obviously, there's been talk about trading Trey. There's been talk about trading DeJounte Murray. Those are your two best players on the team. They're figuring out if we trade one of those two guys, at least we'll have some capital to bring back. The problem is with DeJounte is that when they made that trade, they gave up so much draft capital. I think they gave up 2 or 3 first-round picks to San Antonio. So if you trade DeJounte, you better get something really major back. Of course, with trading trade, that's kind of a mixed bag in itself. Here's a guy that has been setting records since he's been in the league. Certainly, he is a consistent, 20-plus point scorer and close to 10 assists on average every single year. So if you trade him, who are you going to bring back? You have to get a lot back for him as well. And plus, he got a pretty hefty salary, somewhere around $45 million. I don't know what the Braves. I don't know what the Hawks are going to do. I mean, I'm pretty good at trying to put some scenarios together, but I'm at a complete loss. I mean, because like you mentioned, they've tried so many different things and none of them work.
Yeah, and I'm sure it gets deflating for some of the players. And who knows, maybe Trey is the one requesting a trade. You never know. The Hawks may not want to trade him. He may be the one requesting a trade. I think a lot of times fans forget that players go and request to be traded a lot, and they're not happy. And so the Hawks just really, if that's the case, which I'm not saying that's the case, I have not heard that, but you just never know. And who knows, they may keep him. The entire team is built around him. We all know it's Trey's team. We'll see, but they definitely have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, I think that obviously I'm at a loss. I don't even know what to say. I think that they definitely need a big man, somebody that can be more of a rim protector. I think it's tough for Clint Capella, even though people forget in that year they went to the finals. He was actually a top 5 candidate for NBA Defensive Player of the Year and actually led the league
and rebounding.
In rebounding. So he's done basically all you can ask the guy to do. I know a lot of people, and we always kind of just default to him. But the same thing, if you trade Clint Capella, what other big man is out there that's going to give you that same type of performance? A guy that consistently the top rebounder of the league. When he gets the ball inside, he seems to score pretty well. Sometimes he gets a little fumble hands, but I'm just thinking, man, what are you gonna?
Trading him is good.
No, but some people actually talked about that. Some people talked about patching him together. I'm thinking to myself, wait,
Get it?
see, some people, and I think some of this stuff is just designed to maybe create media chatter. But I'm like, why would you trade that guy? It's not like he's that old.
Smart. Yeah. You don't trade your top rebounder. Hello. Rebounding equates to points,
Right.
possessions. A lot of times people really don't look at the stats, but a lot of times the team who rebounds the best, a lot of times, it doesn't happen all the time, they're usually the team that wins. Again, it doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen a lot of the time. Rebounding is a very key component in the game, which is why Dennis Rodman is so talked about, which is why the Chicago Bulls put up with his partying, him missing practices, as long as he was in the game to rebound. They said, let him do what he wants to do as long as he's ready to play. Rebounding makes a difference, a big difference. So you do not want to let your best rebounder go. That is nonsense.
You said something real funny about Dennis Rodman. Let him do what he got to do. So one of the funny stories from that era is that Dennis Rodman allegedly, not allegedly, it's true. He went to coach and said, "Coach, I got to take a break." In the middle of the season, and he just disappeared.
Yeah, and went partying.
And Michael Jordan was like, "Where's he at?" He said he's in the Vegas. So literally, Mike had to call him, then go get him out from Vegas. But like you said, he put up with that stuff because when he played, he was one of the best defensive players and best rebounders in NBA history.
Yes.
So, but I mean, I'm not endorsing folks. I don't want you all say, man,
listen, that was then. It's
right.
That would not happen now. Period.
Right.
Back in the day, things were different.
A lot different. Yeah, a lot of shenanigans going on in the NBA. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. And folks, let me go on record. I'm not endorsing that. Okay, because I know somebody's, oh man, the preacher was saying because a lot of people here. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm echoing what Tree said, that Dennis Rodman was a guy that was given a lot of what am I looking for? Attendance flexibility because of what he was able to do on the court. But now I don't think anybody's gonna put up with that too much because everybody's about social media presence, how they look in the media, and nobody wants a player that's going to be acting the fool out there. So we won't see that here, especially not in Atlanta, where we are part of the gentlemanly South. Not gonna happen. What's going to happen though? We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show. Because you know what? I know, I got you guys. Football, but you need to keep it locked right here for more. And we'll be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere, please, and thank you.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
Congratulations, Amici, on your new F-250 that you got from us. How was your experience here at Allen Vigil Ford?
Thank you so much, Jonathan, man. I appreciate everything you did for me, man. This is awesome right here. And you did.
Congratulations. What do you think? Is it worth the wait, buddy?
I love it. I can't wait to get on the road with it.
Well, listen, man, thank you very much, and congratulations to you. I appreciate your business.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Just want to say congratulations on getting your new F-350 from us here at Allen Vigil Ford. Thank you for your business.
Thank you.
God bless.
All right, thank you.
As you see, guys, there are lots of happy clientele there. And so I will remind you that, yes, I, in fact, sell vehicles. So if you need one, please contact me via the cell or via email. Cell phone number, I'll pop it up on the screen, 678-410-9833. Or you can shoot me an email, jsimmons@realtalksports.net. So, again, if you need a car for yourself, your family, or for your business, please let me know, and we'll do what we can to help you. Again, the number is 678 410-9833, or you can shoot me an email, jsimmons@realtalksports.net. All right, I know you guys have been very patient with us because I know you've been wanting to talk football, and football. So we're going to get to it. Pretty soon, the champion, Tyrone Poole, will be joining us. But right now, it's myself and the Queen, Tree Bowman. Tree, the headline today was hashtag, is this the Falcons fiasco? Is Arthur Blank possibly becoming Jerry Jones? Hashtag NFL draft. So in looking at the fact that the Falcons, everybody kind of agreed that they need defense, they need an edge rusher. There was not one, not two, but three potential edge rushers that most people felt were ranked in the top 15 potential draft picks. And the Falcons said, we don't want none of them. And instead picked up a quarterback. They had all these guys to pick from: Jared Verse from Florida State, Dallas Turner from Alabama, Lyle Latu from UCLA, and instead they picked actually a guy. I missed his picture is right there for those of you watching it up there. They actually picked a young man out of Washington in the 3rd round. So first thing is, Tree, were you shocked as everybody else that the Falcons went and got a quarterback, Michael Penix?
At first, I was. I was, but then I look at it a couple of different ways. One, they kept saying that they thought he was the 2nd best quarterback in the entire draft. That speaks volumes. And we always know when we talk about the draft, take the best player available. That's what the rule is. Best available player. And with the problems that we've had with the Falcons and quarterbacks the last few seasons, I get it. And yes, we love Kirk Cousins. Like I said, I'm happy that he's here. He is coming off of a torn Achilles injury. Achilles injuries a lot of times ends careers. I'm hoping and praying that does not happen to Kirk Cousins, but you just never know. And with that being said, I get wanting to have a good quarterback, someone who they think will fit in well and quickly if needs be, even though they're going to sit him behind Kirk, which I think is great. So I don't think it's crazy, only because I know what they've been through and the heartache that they've had with quarterbacks and trying to find another quarterback. We, in my opinion, are still looking for the next Michael Vick. That's what they're looking for here. Someone who the fans are really going to love, the city's going to wrap their arms around. And I think that this is him. So from that standpoint, yes, I do see that. Now, the big problem that I had with that was, okay, you're preparing for the future, but you're clearly saying that you do not care about this year and what is going to happen on the field this year, per se, right? But again, I do get, we don't know what will happen with Kirk. Hopefully he'll stay healthy the whole year. But if he doesn't, you do want a good quarterback to step in. So that makes sense. But we always talk about it, right? Take the best player available, He was the best player available. And so from that standpoint, it makes sense. What's your take on it?
Well, my whole problem with the whole thing is not about the young man himself, because I do think that he is a top-ranked quarterback, and I do think had he not had the history of the injuries, and I also feel if he had been younger, like if he had been 21, like the rest of the guys, there's no doubt he was a top-3 quarterback, because in watching this guy play, I mean, he could sling it, and he was a Heisman finalist himself, put up over 4,000 yards passing, and really, even the detractors of this move have all said the same thing. Of all of the quarterbacks there, he clearly is a guy that looks pro-ready, like ready to go. Like if the Falcons did not have Kirk Cousins, most people think that he could come in and start right away. Yeah. So there's no question. I mean, the guy, I like the guy. I mean, matter of fact, remember now, I was the guy that picked Washington to win the national title, even over the Huskies.
You did.
I did. So I mean, at the end of the day, I think he's a great player, but my problem is two things. Number one, I think picking him at 8, even though everybody's saying, hey, we had him at second best quarterback overall, I thought maybe they could have maneuvered around and got him later. But of course, as it turns out, that the rumor was either the Vikings or the Raiders were going to move up to get him. So I understand that to some degree. Right.
He
So
wouldn't have been there.
now the other thing too is they were saying, hey, because fans were so mad, they were like, well, we did try to trade back into the first round, but the realities are once you make that pick, everybody knows what you're trying to do and they're gonna try to hijack you. I think if they try to do that beforehand, maybe. So now I'm not sure what this I got Todd on social media. I'm not sure what he's referring to here, but there is a
Are you serious? What? Am I serious about what, Todd? Be more specific. What did I say?
I guess you're talking about the Michael Penix thing,
probably because I said I understand why he did it. Or maybe, I don't know, is it because I said that they felt that he was the number 2 quarterback in the draft? That's not my opinion, and those are not my words. Those were the words of the GM and the coach for the Falcons. They felt that he was the number 2 quarterback in the entire draft from what they said.
The other problem was too is that even though our GM has repeatedly said, "Hey, this is much ado about nothing," I was talking to him about something else. Of course, the video went viral. Where as soon as they made the pick, it seemed like him and Arthur Blank were kind of having a pretty animated conversation after that. So, look, at the end of the day, again, I have no problem with Michael Penix being a Falcon. Matter of fact, I think that's a good thing. The problem I have is that you put yourself by signing Kirk Cousins at the amount you signed him for, you put yourself back to the same position you were before. You're really in a cap crunch. They really can't go after any type of significant defensive players right now. Now, they could pull some out the waiver wire, who knows? But they really seem like they've hamstrung them as far as doing anything else to help bolster this defense. So that's why my question. Look, if you got a guy that you think can go in a year or two, I thought, to me personally, and again, maybe it's a dynamic in the locker room. Maybe they don't feel that he would be a good teacher for a young guy coming up. But I'm like, hey, you could have got Russell Wilson for about $1 million a year, and still had like $100 million in the bank.
Yes, but the price that they're paying for him now is much better than the price that they would pay later. So they actually are saving money by getting him at number 8. Like I said, at first, it was just like, whoa, I didn't expect this. But the more you think about it, and when you look at it from a business standpoint, and we always talk about get the best player available, period. We say that all the time whenever we're discussing the draft. If they at 8, at 7, doesn't matter what, we always say take the best player available. So now the Atlanta Falcons took the best player available, and now everybody has a problem with it. Like, it doesn't make sense. Either you want them to take the best player available, or you want them to just wait and miss up the best player available, let another team get the best player available so that you can do different things. Yes, we need defense. We know that. But we also know that quarterbacks are the most important player on any team. Teams are built around quarterbacks. They're the highest paid for a reason. So yes, we have a great quarterback with Kirk Cousins, but we also need a great backup in case there is injury or for the future. So it makes total sense, in my opinion. But I do know that the fans are, everybody's just in an uproar. But
in a complete uproar. People like, I thought to myself, we might have to call the switch team out to because I thought people were going to run and burn down Mercedes-Benz Stadium. People just acting. Because matter of fact, one of my good buddies, Smitty Sports Machine, he actually put a meme up of a Falcons fan with a can of gasoline heading towards Mercedes-Benz Stadium. that was his meme. But anyway, anytime we talk football, we want to get a guy that's actually been there and done that. He is a not one, but 2-time Super Bowl champion. He is in the Fort Valley State Sports Hall of Fame. He is, in fact, the first ever, speaking of defense, Carolina Panthers defensive draft selection. And he's also a National Black College Alumni Hall of Famer and a future Black College Football Hall of Famer. The one and only number 38, Tyrone Poole, is back in the building. Terry, what's going on?
What's going on, good people? Let's see, make sure I can be seen. Am I seen? Hey guys, I'm kind of cut off a little bit. I'm out here working out, man. So, I almost forgot, Jonathan. I said, man, I got to do Jonathan's show. So I couldn't leave you guys hanging. What's going on, Miss Tree?
Nothing much. What's going on with you, Tyrone?
Man, I'm just working that thing. What we do, we work that thing. What is it all about? It's all about the E. It's all about the E. I heard you guys talking about the draft.
Yes.
Yes,
So
I
what do you
want to
think
give one more
about the
shot.
Falcons pick? Oh,
Hang on a second. I'll give one more shot at Tyrone. Now, I tell people there's two types of guns. There's show guns, and there's the real guns. Tyrone Poole got the real guns because he works that thing. I'm just saying.
That's what it's all about, man. Praise be to God. Praise be to God. But I will say this before I jump into that question, what Tree said. I know, Jonathan, you put up some stats about me. Praise be to God. I boast in the name of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. But this is what a lot of people don't know. I am the only first round HBCU draft pick from the corner position from a Division II college in NFL history. Yeah, Ed Too Tall Jones, he is the first ever HBCU Division II black college draft pick ever in the NFL. And you're looking at the only first ever, only to this day, from the time the conception of the NFL draft, you're looking at the only guy that's been drafted in the first round from a Division II HBCU school right here. So praise be to God for that honor. But it's not all about me. You know, sometimes you gotta let people know because sometimes they just don't know the work that you put in that God gives you. So I'm just here as an inspiration to people. But going back, I heard you guys talking about the Kirk Cousins and Pence, and I agree with Fontenay, GM. Okay, so Pence is the future, right? And I know everybody talk about all the money they paid Kirk Cousins, but this is what you guys got to understand. Those people who are the GMs, they're not just the GMs just because they are holding a general manager position. They got to know how to utilize that cap. Now, of course, they pay their favors. You know, they play their favors. We want this guy over that guy, right? I'm pretty sure there were teams like when I went to New England, there were probably some other guys, you know, coaches that wanted another guy, right? But we want Tyrone, right? So at the end of the day, will Tyrone help us win, right? That's one thing we got to agree upon. At the end of the day, if you're the Falcons organization, can Kirk Cousins help us win right now? Yes, he can, right? All right, Kirk Cousins, he's been in the league for a while. He's been injured, okay? We don't want to be like some teams where they have a great quarterback. Brett Favre, let's take Brett Favre. He went to Minnesota, right? Who did they replace Brett Favre with? Oh, go ahead, Jonathan.
You're trying to think. Who did they replace him with? I can't remember.
I thought you were saying something.
No, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. So the point I'm trying to make is I think I agree with what the Falcons did. And I've had this conversation with many of people. And I think even you said this a couple times, Jonathan. You bring a young guy in, let him play behind a veteran, let him learn the game. I tell you, I can't tell you how many times I wish that I had come into the league and I could have played behind a Deion Sanders. I could have played behind an Eric Allen. I could have played behind an Aeneas Williams, right? I got the skill. We know Pence got an arm, man. Where he's lacking is right here. So if he can sit behind and hold that clipboard for a while and see the mannerism of an NFL quarterback and play the game from the sideline, then once he get into the game, it's going to be like, you know, wow. So let's talk about the salary cap. Now, I'm pretty sure Kirk Cousins' contract is salary friendly to the Falcons. The signing bonus, boom, it is what it is. They're giving away money. You know, they back the Brinks truck up. But his cap, that's what we got to look at. How does that hit the Falcons? And I think at the time when they get ready to release Kirk Cousins and let him move on, they're not going to have a big salary cap hit. And then Pence can come right on in and the train keeps moving because they're kind of young on offense. So their main thing is let's make sure we have a quarterback right now, quarterback in the future. And about time Pence comes up for a new contract, it's going to be years down the road. But they got to take care of Bijan Robinson. Kyle Pitts is going to come up pretty soon. London, he probably got some years. So I think they're building something great here in Atlanta.
The only thing I can say is that two things are going to happen after this draft and this situation. Either A, the Falcons are going to be able to say, we was playing chess when everybody else was playing checkers.
There you go.
Everybody be heading for the door because they'll all be fired. One or two. Yeah, they got that. Here's the bottom line.
That's what's going to happen. Honestly, I feel like this decision that they made, that everybody's going in and they don't know what they're doing, doesn't make sense, this and that. I just have a feeling that in the future, it is really going to pay off, and everybody's going to be like, oh, I'm so glad that they drafted him and all that. So yes, we'll see.
Should be interesting. What's Todd saying there, Tree?
I will use Tyrone's favorite quote. At the end of the day, Falcons ruined all the good energy Kirk had come of in. Now you got quarterback drama. What quarterback drama?
Yeah, and then, let me say something about that right there. I'm glad that that was brought up, right? Because what this is going to do, Kirk Cousins, as a veteran, I'm just talking from a veteran standpoint, from my experience, and I think the principle works in any facet of life. If you know that you are the only guy, you are that guy, and you look back, and you don't see nobody behind you, you don't work as hard. But now Kirk Cousins, he's going to come his first year, and he's going to show the Falcons, y'all messed up by drafting this kid. Yeah, I'll help him, but you know what, kid? You got to take your game to a new level. So that benefits the Falcons, right? So Kirk Cousins going to come out balling this year, and he's going to ball next year because he knows his time in Atlanta is pretty much on the time clock now. And he wants to get himself back in shape, let teams know that I can still play this ball. I can throw that ball just like Tom Brady. So, hey, I can't let these 2 years go to waste. So I think it's a great energy movement for the Falcons, not only this year, but next year, and then hand that baton over to Pence and keep on rolling.
Sure, man. It's bottom line is the Falcons. It's real simple. We can talk about, did they make a right move, wrong move, bad move? This is how this works. If the Falcons are to stay on the alleged schedule that we all believe they should be on, which is to win the NFC South next year, get a home playoff game, win at least that playoff game, and be in contention in that next season, if they do that, no one's going to care. They really won't. No one's going to care as long as the Falcons win and they get in the playoffs and win at least a game this year, and next year be contending for an NFC title and potentially going to the Super Bowl. Then no one's going to care how much they spent. No one's going to care about, any of that kind of stuff. Now, as far as the drama that Tyler was talking about, allegedly, Kirk got a little bit of his feeling because he thought the Falcons did not, give him any kind of heads up and felt blindsided. But, in my mind, I'm like, hey, dude, they didn't give you $100 million up front. So, you have to get over it. If that's the case, I don't even know if that's true, but allegedly, his agent was saying, hey, well, we kind of got blindsided. I'm thinking to myself, well, why do you care? I don't care.
You care. Why do people say, why do you care? Listen, these athletes are human beings. This is what they work on and work hard for mostly every day of their lives. Yes, you care. I don't care if they're paying you $10 zillion. When a team brings you in and they tell you things and you have one thing that you have in your mind because they told you this, and then the draft comes and they do that, yes, you care. So yes, he cares. I get why he cares, but I also love that he, got himself together and then he called and asked for his number, the rookie's number, so that he can go ahead and call. He did the right thing. So I don't think there's going to be drama, but yes, they care. They put their heart and souls and everything that they have to give, blood, sweat, tears. That is real. So yes, they care.
And let me say this too. That is a principle. It's not just the NFL. That's a principle of life, right? How many of us actually got a job, and then we show up thinking, after talking to human resource, they say that we are the only ones that they gonna sign at that moment. But then you walk into the office, you're like, hold on, what are you here for? Oh, I'm here for the such and such job. Me too. It's all about competition, people. How about college? These college coaches come sit down with these young high school athletes. We want you to be our starter, whatever. So they don't sold you the point that you are the person. Then when you get to college, you walk into your dorm room with your parents and you see somebody else sitting over there. Hey, my name is John Doe. What's your name? I'm such and such. I play running back. I play running back too. Then you start looking at your parent. Hold, it's all about competition, people. The more competition you have on your team, that's where you win championships. See, this is what I know. This ain't what I heard. You win championships in practice with the
Facts.
people on your team. And when you get into the game, it's easy. That's how we did in New England. That's why in New England, we rarely, when I was with the Patriots, I don't think not one time when I was with the Patriots, we went and scrimmaged another team. We scrimmaged ourselves. Now, they probably have gone and scrimmaged people, but when we were winning, no, we scrimmaged ourselves because we had talent on top of talent. That's how you do it.
Pushed each other.
There you go.
That's the same thing my husband said with the Minnesota Vikings. They pushed each other every single practice. They never said, oh, well, yeah, you go ahead and get that sack. No, I want this sack. If you want it, you're going to have to fight me for it. But they pushed each other every single practice, every single game. And that is what makes great players.
Yeah, we saw it in real time at the end of Tom Brady's career when they talked about, Jimmy Garoppolo. Hey, Tom had some of his best years. Once they start talking about we're going to start Jimmy and all this kind of stuff before they made the trade. Let's go to social media here. What is Todd saying?
Todd said, you drafted a left-hand QB. Nobody wants that. And he hurt a lot.
And let me see. You know what? Michael Vick was left-handed. Steve Young was left-handed. Right? Those are pretty good quarterbacks right there.
Pretty good. Todd said, come on, Tyrone. Fans will now get behind what they think is Vic 2.0, and Kirk will crumble. Kirk is not going to crumble.
Kirk's a veteran.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, it's going to be interesting because what we're being told is Kirk will probably not be able to actually be on the field they're saying he probably won't be there for the OTA. They're not expecting him to come back until the end of May at the earliest, probably early June, which means we're probably going to see the rookie now in a game situation. We're going to see him on that practice field right away.
And that's good.
No, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's just like being like a simulator. That's like we're going to put the astronauts in a simulation, not put them in the atmosphere right now, put them in a simulation. Let them get used to that, right? Let them learn. And then when Kirk Cousins comes back, now Pence is going to, Michael Penix, he's going to have a lot of questions for Kirk now. Kirk, I had trouble doing this. How did you do that, right? Without allowing Penix to get in a game situation where now he can lose his confidence. Because you can never lose your confidence in practice. You lose your confidence in the game, right? But you never lose it in practice. So give him opportunity to work those bad throws, learn the playbook on the run, and then when Kirk Cousins comes back, he has a whole lot of questions for Kirk that Kirk can answer and get him straight.
What's Todd saying as we get towards the end of the program? What's Todd saying, Tree?
Todd said had 2 ACLs on his right leg alone. I guess he tore 2 ACLs.
He's had 4 major injuries. He had the ACLs, 2 of them. He also had, I think it was a separated shoulder or something terribly to the non-throwing shoulder. So he's been banged up. The other thing people are saying, well, okay, hang on, man. You got a guy that's already 24 years old. And they said the other thing, too, is that if he sits behind Kirk 2 or 3 years, you have a situation where that now, as soon as he's ready to play, you only have 1 year under that cheap money. You're immediately going to have to, pay him the big money on that 5th-year option. What do you guys think about that as far as the Falcons saying, hey, man, we lose an opportunity to build around a young quarterback while we don't have to pay him a ton of money?
Well, I want to say this about it. Go ahead, Tree.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
I was going to go back real quick about the injury, right? The guy, I'm pretty sure the Falcons and every other team, all 31 other teams, checked his injuries out. They looked at all his records. They had their own doctors in there, right? And these doctors for these teams are not paid to make the player look good. They're paid to make sure that this NFL team is making a good investment. It's just like your stockbroker, right? Your stockbroker ain't gonna bring a stock to you that they know is going to plummet because they know they can get fired, right? So they tested Penix out. Plus, the other thing is he get a couple of years to if there are some weaknesses there, he got 2 years to work on it, get it stronger without getting it beat up on. So I don't look at the injuries. I don't look at none of that stuff. I think he's a great pickup. And like you said, Jonathan, it's just a wait and show you later. But go ahead, Tree. I know you want to answer Jonathan's question.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to – I forgot the question.
What was the question?
I forgot what I was about to say. What was the question?
I forgot too. Let's get Todd before we wrap it up here. He's got one more comment about the draft. What's he saying there, Tree?
He said the Falcons could have got Lulu an edge and helped us this year, not a QB that may play in 3 years. Come on. Well,
Come on to you, brother. First of all, if you're going to keep typing in these things, you have to slow down. The guy's name is not Lulu. It's Latu, Latu, not Lulu. Just keep that right. All right, go ahead, Tree.
I mean, we know that we definitely need edge players, right? We need those, but we also know that they could find some. And let's not forget that a lot of people just always just look at the draft. You get great players who do not get drafted, who come and they practice and play with the team. I can't tell you how many guys that I personally know who did not get drafted and they played in the NFL and started for 13, 14 years. It's not just that you find great players in the draft. So yes, you want to go out and draft the best players available to help your team, but you also invite great players who you did not draft to training camp, and then you find great players there as well. So all hope is not lost. We're still going to find some great players who I'm sure will stay on the team and earn themselves a roster spot and play and start for many years. So it's not, all hope is not lost, but we definitely need defense. We know this.
And I add this in 15, 30 seconds. People understand it's about the scheme. Schemes win games, right? And if you get the players who could bring the energy, you don't need big name players, right? And I always think about that movie, The Moneyball with Brad Pitt, right? They got rid of big name people, right? And they brought in people who wanted to play, people who could, maybe it takes 3 guys to take the place of 1 guy, right? But if we understand we got a scheme, right, then the scheme is going to work, right? The scheme is going to work. I've been there, I've seen it, and we've seen it throughout football in years. Look at the Miami Dolphins back in the 70s, right? They called them the no-name defense. It was all about the scheme. They had guys who were willing to put in the effort. And that's what it's all about. Everybody thinks it's about a big name. No, you want people who come to play with energy. Energy is what wins games. That's what I've seen.
It's funny you mention this. Now, everybody's talking about the lack of defensive players, but to the Falcons' credit, after that pick, they did go heavy on defense. And there's 2 guys that everybody's saying, just opposite without having all these negatives about Michael Penix. The 2 guys they picked up in the draft, one, a lot of people are saying, well, who's this Ruru? But at the end of the day, they moved up to pick a guy by the name of Roquette Aruro. I'm sorry, I'm not pronouncing it right. Out of Clemson. They think that he has the potential to be the next Grady Jarrett. And the realities are, if you look at his scores, and Tree pointed this out, what the other skilled GMs and scouts say, this is what the score was for Mr. Aurora, who nobody knew, including myself. I was like, who's this guy? His prospect grade was 6.25, and they said will eventually become a starter. But more importantly, his athleticism. He scored an 89. Out of all the 2024 defensive tackles, that 89 score was ranked number 1. His production score of 67 for defensive tackles at the combine was ranked 8, but his overall score of 77 ranked him 4th amongst all of the defensive tackles at the combine. And also a young man out of Washington, which is the teammate of Michael Penix, Braylon Trice is a guy that was a all Pac-12 contender. He had 9 sacks last year, and he was always in the backfield. So maybe the Falcons have got what they need to get in one of those 2 draft picks. And also we have guys on the team already that we expect to improve this year. So maybe, like I said again, the Falcons, after all this is said, they're going to be looking at everybody like this with some shades on, saying, like I said earlier, baby, we was playing that chess. Well, y'all was playing checkers, and in fact could do what the Falcons did at the beginning of Matt Ryan's career, go on a run where for a decade, almost every year the Falcons were in the playoffs. All right, as we wrap it up, one last comment here from Todd. Let's see what he has to say here. There he is, Tree.
He said, you know why they signed. They went and saw him throw, and they liked the sound of the ball. Follow him? Oh, laugh out loud. Him? Well, I'm
Doesn't
sure
Trey?
Jonathan's going to love him as a quarterback because we know Jonathan, that's all he talks about is somebody who can throw long and who can move and be agile. So I'm pretty sure that Jonathan is going to fall in love with him whenever he does start playing. And who knows, maybe the city of Atlanta will, because I do think, like Todd said, he's Michael Vick 2.0, but I do think that he reminds them of Michael Vick. And I do think that Atlanta will be a great fit for him and that the city will come rally around him and start being excited to come to the games again. So we'll see. But I do think it's a great pickup for the Falcons.
And I know give it a close out, John, if I say this real quick. Two things. When you talked about that player they just drafted, this is where I think professional teams need to bring back veteran players, right? And let them be coaches. Bring back a Chuck Smith, bring him back, and he can coach those guys, right? So now you get the mentality, the mindset of Chuck Smith to go inside this rookie, and boom, he's dominating right off. Because most of the guys, nothing against these coaches in NFL, but most of them are coaching a position that they never played before, right? They just been handpicked, favoritism. But bring back these guys who have played, and you will see these rookies go and become great like that overnight. And also, I want to say, when the Falcons, I think over the offseason, they picked up some speed at the wide receiver position. Okay, now you got a quarterback in the future who can throw the ball deep, right? You got a London who can run the intermediate routes, the underneath routes, the kind of Chris Carter, a la Chris Carter, Minnesota. That guy, that's all he do is catch touchdowns, right? And he's that intermediate guy. And then you got the outside guys who can stretch it. Plus, you got a quarterback who can get it to him. And then you got a running back, Bijan Robinson, who, if you don't watch out, he can go. And then you got a Pitts that you can move him inside, outside, and create the one-on-one. So I think the future is bright for the Falcons if they continue to do the right things and play their hands correctly.
Can I just say one thing quickly before we leave? Shout out to the Minnesota Vikings. JJ McCarthy's our new quarterback. I'm just all excited to see that my Michigan quarterback is going to my Minnesota Vikings, and my Detroit Lions drafted all these great secondary positions that we need. I mean, can we just say that Latresa Dolman cannot wait for football season? Okay.
I think everybody feels that same way. I think that it's going to be a very interesting year next year. And believe me, yeah, they immediately get shocked and turn the draft up. Like, they're like, what are these guys doing? But at the end of the day, once I kind of calmed down and actually was realistic, I said, dude, they drafted your guy, Michael Penix. I said, they sure did. And now looking at the Aurora and the Braylon Trice and kind of, drilling down to those numbers, both of those guys could have, Aurora was, but Trice could have been a higher pick. He could have been a second or third round pick because this guy was getting all Pac-10. I think it was a second or third team All-American. And he was a disruptor for the Huskies, who, by the way, played the national title game. So I agree. I think the Falcons should be I think this. Number one, they should win the NFC South. Number two, they should be able to win at least one playoff game. And after that, you never know, Tyrone. You know how it gets. Once you get in the playoffs, anything could happen.
Anything could happen, man. We did it in Carolina. First year, we went 79. And they were putting that thing together. And they brought in some new people after that first year, after 95, brought in Eric Davis, Kevin Green, God rest his spirit. And, man, we one game away from the Super Bowl, man, just in 2 years.
Sure. So, at the end of the day, that's really it. All this stuff, all that talking about the pressure, Kirk Cousins. I'll say one last thing about Kirk. So, at the end of the day, did I say, he should get over it? I think he's already gotten over it, number one. I think one of the reasons why they picked Kirk Cousins and they picked Michael Penix is both guys are apparently very humble men. Both guys, strong believers. And just the fact that Penix, when they tried to push him and say, hey, what did you and Kirk talk about? He said, I'm not talking about that. He said, he called me. He said, what we talked about was private. That shows the maturity, which you expect a guy that's 24 and not 21. So, I think the Falcons are in good shape. I think that these two defensive picks I just mentioned, Braylon Trice out of edge rusher out of Washington, and defensive tackle out of Clemson. I think that they're going to be a good fit. And I also think the Falcons have already on the team People forget they had Trey Anderson, a guy who's blazing fast at linebacker position. He's been out, hasn't really been able to play much. You look at Brady Jarrell, he's back this year, and he should be in fine shape. So, yeah, the Falcons are set to go, and I think it's for them, it's NFC South title and one playoff game a plus for them. So, anyway, guys, we got to go. But you know how we do it. Before we let everybody go, we want to make sure that you know how to follow and contact our guests or callers. So, Mr. Tyrone Poole, the floor is yours.
I got to give him a quick little motivation, 10-second motivation. What we do, we work that thing. What is it all about? It's all about the E, effort, energy, efficiency. You can find it, TyronePoole38.com, TyronePoole38, all social media. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, beautiful Queen Tree, and everybody for watching and listening. See you next Tuesday.
Bye,
God bless.
Go work that thing.
All right, Tree Diamond, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. You can find me on social media at Purple Diva 13, as well as Ms. America International 2022.
Queen has spoken. Hey guys, before I let you go, you know the minister has to always encourage you to do what? Hey, get to know the Lord Jesus Christ, your personal Savior. If you don't, please, man, please, sir, get to know him today. Nobody, absolutely nobody loves you like Jesus. He's the one that came here, died for you, but he rose from the dead. So good news. If you repent of your sins and believe in him, two great things will happen. Number one, you become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven. And number two, you become an adopted child of God with all the rights therein. That means you can now go to God like a heavenly parent, ask him for anything you need or desire, and according to his will, he'll give it to you. And when you die, you go to that spectacular, beautiful, and wonderful place called heaven, where there's none of the following: no pain, no pandemic, no bad people anywhere. You never get old, you never die, you never get sick. And you now get a chance to see Jesus Christ and God himself and all the people of love up close and face to face. And you avoid that nasty place called hell, where all the things I just mentioned won't be there. It's dark, it's dreary. You got the most evil people ever upon the earth. The devil, all his demons are right there. And most of all, you're cut off from God and Jesus Christ and all the people of love forever and a day. I don't know about you, but I like option number one instead of option number two. All right, guys, until the next time we get back together again, we simply say God bless you and have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, whichever may apply. So long and take care.